Welcome to the Santa Catalina Criterium. This is a race in the area of Tucson, Arizona. You can see we've got a lot of riders here, about 30 starters today at the Pro 1-2 crate. It's in San Manuel. It's about 45 miles away from Tucson, and we rode our bikes here. You can see Landis Cyclery as a team here. We've got Hot Tubes, Cash right there through the first corner. It's kind of a pentagon shape. Ooh, we got some swerving around, and I'm going to send the first little attack here out of the first corner. It's an uphill here, and there's a left to right crosswind, so there is not a lot of relief to be had even if you're in the wheel on this little section. But nobody followed me up until the top little corner of this hill, and then I think they realized that maybe they shouldn't let a move go that early on in this race. Here we have Kyle Trudeau on my wheel jumping in. It's nice to have this little view here, and we've got the whole field on my wheel, so I'm gonna sit up. You can see not going too hard at all, and around the outside this is perfectly opened up to attacks from everyone else. And here we have Steven Schaefer sending it off the front. I think that's one of the racers, Domingo, something like that, from one of the local teams who actually won the Cat 3 race. And the race is going to get a little more spicy here. But while it does, I'm going to talk about our sponsor for today, which is Insta360. You can see I've been moving the camera angle around, and that's because I have a 360-degree view on this camera right now. And it is awesome to have the ability to just slap my camera on there and look around. This is the Insta360 X5. It's their flagship model as we come through one of the harder corners of the course on this first lap. It looks sandy, but there's plenty of grip on that corner, but it's going to trick a lot of people. And you can see in the shadow on the bottom right, I have the Insta360 X5 mounted down there on my bike. I have the Insta360 direct mount to the handlebar. It uses the 1/4-inch screw mount, and I have this little brace underneath because the X5 is a little bit of a heavier camera, but putting it in this orientation really gives you a great ability to look back at yourself in the 360 footage, which is something that a lot of people might like. With bigger races or bumpier races, I tend to Velcro it underneath my handlebars there, just because it offers a little bit more tucked in and less ability to break the camera, although it does have replaceable lenses on this and the X4 Air. X4 Air is a great one too if you don't need the super high-end flagship camera, but if you're wanting to shoot really nice videos, it shoots 8K. I have it at 24 frames per second here, and it looks fantastic. So check them out, give them some love. Awesome camera company, and they make a fantastic camera. As I'm sending an attack through the start finish here to get around to this little group, and we have up the road here is a Butcher Box rider, and I believe that's one of the Floyd's riders as well. I'm not sure if that's Kyle or if that's Steven, but we're going up the hill pretty hard. Early in this race, it did get a little crazy. Oh yeah, up the hill, that's definitely Steven. He's hitting it hard up the hill and hurting a lot of people. I heard during this race there was a lot of people pulled, like almost 20 people pulled a few minutes into the race just because it split up so much. We have the Butcher Box rider sending an attack through the start finish here. It was getting really hard. You can see wheels are getting dropped, and I'm just going to let that go. He actually, from this point on, did a few laps of flying. You can see Dylan on the left in the Velvet kit thinking about chasing him down, deciding not to, and we just let him kind of cook out there. Kyle thinking about chasing down as well, but one rider this early on in the race, it's going to be really hard for them to stay away, although it is starting to break up even this early. I noticed that there were some other people, so I just let that gap go and let them come around. You can see they did. So 45 minutes ish left in the race, and I'm gonna sit back, see if anything goes, hope the Butcher Box rider comes back. As this field is a little more motivated than I am to pull it back. There are 2 people from Landis and 2 people from the team who won the Cat 3 race. I think it's Bike World. I could be wrong. But plenty of people here to the fact that I don't have to pull everything back if I don't want to. I am going to be a little bit more marked because of my results this past year, but they're still letting kind of attacks go and stuff like that. And it's a hard course, so it's going to be hard to kind of keep anything under control. Here I bridged up to this little group with Kyle in it and these two riders. Let's see if we can see it. This is the team that won the Cat 3 race. On the left there is the rider that does it. And Dylan on the left also goes for a little move. Steven didn't get a lot of room there to come around. Still plenty of time in this race, but it is getting pointy at the front. And you can see my heart rate is starting to rise a good bit. We did this at the end of a 30-hour training week in Tucson, trying to escape the snow back on the east, and I was pretty fatigued. I didn't know what my legs were going to be like. I didn't know how the race was going to go, but early on here, my legs are feeling very blocked up. You can see Kyle sending this bottom corner. And then we're going to hold back a little bit on this. Just expecting my legs to crap out at some point during the race. I tried to stay as fueled up as I could, but I honestly didn't eat anything. I just drank a lot of water during this, and I was covered in salt after this, which is one of the warmer races we had done. Here 40 minutes in, and we're starting to get a little bit cagey. We're all pulling together pretty well, but we're not really running from anything. It seemed like the groups behind lost motivation to chase us, but you can see Cash on the front here, and I'm going to send a little move up through the start finish. I believe they had one rider off the front at this point. I think Steven took a flyer, so Steven Schaefer with the Landis team, who has a teammate in Kyle back in the group, and Kyle's doing his job as a teammate of kind of getting in that second place in rotation, and as soon as the person in front pulls off, he just says, I'm not pulling, and it just sucks the momentum out of any chase that you could have. So we start to realize that, and then we're just going to start to send attacks. So I'm sending one here. I get a little close, but there on the front, Cash from Hot Tubes, he actually closed me down. I attacked while he was finishing his pool, so that must have been a pretty hard effort for him. But we get really close to Steven here, and then I notice everybody's on my wheel. This is kind of a headwind section, so I didn't want to continue the speed too much. I wanted to keep a little bit of speed in there, but Steven's already been off the front for 2 laps, and now we come back through the start finish the next lap. Dylan from Velvet sending a move. Everybody's gonna follow, so he sees that. He's not gonna do much about it. But we're quite close to Steven. He's up the hill there a little bit, and it seems like a very unmotivated chase. So I'm scared Steven's going to take it away. But we get up to the top of the hill, and Cash sends his move. I had just done a small pull, and Steven's been out there for quite a long time. So we're going to try and pull him back. Cash just, Dylan's not able to keep that wheel there on Kyle. So I'm going to come through and hopefully pull that back during this little thing. You've been seeing the Insta360 the whole time, and I think it's cool that you can not really tell it's a 360 camera right now, but then at any point during the race, I'm sure you've seen me just turn it around and get whatever shot I need to of 360. Here we are, so close to Steven, and I'm going to send yet another move on the hill, trying to put that final nail in the coffin of Steven's little attack here. 20 minutes to go in the race. We had a good group of 6 for quite a while, and these last little moves trying to pull Steven back, I think just absolutely shredded it. So Kyle would stay with us for a while. Cash was there. The other rider in the green and blue, I forget his name, it's like Dominique or something like that, was there. We finally catch up to Steven on this headwind section, and then we're all going to kind of chill. We're going to sit up a little bit, wait for others to attack. 16 minutes here to go. Yeah, we still have Kyle. We actually have a pretty big group. I think Dylan was still there at the same time. And then Steven sends another move up the little start finish here. The race is getting pretty hard here, and I think everybody's kind of fatigued. I know I was fatigued at this point. I knew a few times during this race that if anybody sent an attack, I'd be pretty gassed, but here through the start finish, I decided it was time to send one good hard move, and I did that, and I think at this point it actually shredded down to me, Steven, and Cash. So not a lot of riders left in this race, and we come through probably 2 minutes ago, Steven sends a move on the downhill, which was pretty interesting. I was expecting him to send a move a little earlier than that, but he waited until like a minute to go in the race to send a downhill move, which did get a good little gap on me, but I was sitting second. I was super worried about Cash in the wheel. You never know how these racers are going to sprint. I've never raced with Cash before, I don't think. And so I don't know what his sprint's like. He's been pulling moves, been quitting turns, so I know he's a little bit more fresh than I am, and I can tell from all the moves he's pulled back that he has a lot of strength in his legs. Coming into this last corner here, I've been scouting out this inside line, and so I just absolutely send the inside line. I don't think Cash wanted to follow me, so you can see there's a little gap back to him, and I just open up the sprint here with 10-15 seconds to go. You can see the 360 view turning around with that Insta360 X5 camera, and I just make it all the way to the front. I ended up taking the win. In second was Cash there, and then third was Steven Schaefer with Landis Cyclery. It was a pretty fun race. Please check out Insta360. Their X5 has been an awesome camera for me, and I'll be using it for the rest of the year. They've been a great supporter of the channel, and it would be great if you bought something from them. If you need it, if you need a flagship camera, go check them out. If you're not looking to spend as much money as the X5, the X4 Air is a very competitive camera against this, and they will be having a sale on it. I'll have more information in the description, but very similar cameras here. One just has a little smaller sensor, the X4 Air, and they both actually have replaceable lenses. So if you ever have an issue with the lens, you can replace it yourself, which is super easy, super nice, and they're both awesome cameras. Again, go check out Insta360. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.